Today I'm going to be building a cheap RTX 3060 Ti gaming PC to see if it's a good choice for those of you that still have an older CPU. Now that GPUs are getting cheaper and cheaper and more people are finally getting their hands on them, if you're upgrading your GPU but still have an older CPU, then this video is a perfect video for you. But before we go any further, let's have a quick word from today's video sponsor. If you need an affordable Windows key, then today's video sponsor has you covered. Head to their website at KeysFan, it'll be linked down below. Find your desired Windows key. They have Windows 10 Pro, Home, and even Windows 11. Once you add the keys to your cart, be sure to use the discount code LAB50 for a whole 50% off, and that drops the price of Windows 10 Pro to under $10. Once your payment processes, they will email you your product key. Be sure to check the links down below, and let's get back to the video. The older CPU I'm using is a 9th gen Intel chip. It's not super old, but it's not new either. It is the i5-9600K, and it is a 6-core, 6-threaded processor with a base speed of 3.7 gigahertz and a boost of 4.6 gigahertz. To give it the best possible chance, we're going to be using 60 gigabytes of DDR4 clocked at 3200 megahertz. The specific kit I'm using is a 2x8 gigabyte kit from V-Color. To take advantage of the K on the i5, meaning it can be overclocked, we're going to be pairing it with the Z390 motherboard. It is the MSI MPG Z390 Gaming Plus. It has 4 DIMM slots, and this allows you to upgrade the system to 32 gigabytes of RAM or more, which would be a worthy upgrade for those wanting to pursue content creation or streaming with the use of NVIDIA's NVENC encoder. The 3060 Ti that I'm using is the Asus KO RTX 3060 Ti with 8GB of VRAM. It is a really nice looking 3060 Ti with a 2-fan design, and it kind of has a samurai type look to it. To cool the CPU, we're going to be using a very budget-friendly 240mm AIO. It is the Vetro V240mm, and I have used plenty of these AIOs and never had a problem with any of them. The pump has RGB on it, and it comes with 2 120mm ARGB fans. Let's finally build the computer. We already got the CPU installed. Now let's install the RAM. This RAM is honestly pretty cool. I love the mirrored finish to it, but it's kind of a fingerprint magnet. 1 stick installed. 2 stick installed. I'm going to be RGBifying this PC, so we need to take out these black fans and this one white fan. So this case can accommodate a front rad, and it looks like there's enough room for a top rad, so I think I'm gonna try a top rad. I got the motherboard all installed, and now I'm prepping the AIO for installation. From the looks of it, we have plenty of room to mount the AIO at top. It doesn't even come in interference with the motherboard at all, but I'm going to route the power cable first to the CPU. I also have 3 additional ARGB fans to install. I'm gonna take 2 of them and put them in the front of the case. The last one's gonna go in the back of the case, and there's gonna be RGB around this whole build. I'm not gonna forget this time. It's kind of stuck on there good, and I don't want the pump to go flying. I remember one time I built a PC with the same exact cooler, and I left this thing on there, and the i7 that was under the cooler was overheating, and I was like, oh no, what the hell? I took it apart, and yeah, this thing was still on there. So yeah, I'm not forgetting again. Got the thermal paste installed, and I got it installed on my finger as well. Ooh, fans and AIO are completely installed. Now, time for this SSD. Bam! Ooh, the power supply still has this little peely. Ooh. I'm gonna eat it. I think I like the look of the 24-pin like wrapping around the AIO tubes, but I'm not completely sure yet. One cool thing about the fans is it comes with this fan and RGB hub, which is powered through SATA, and it comes with a whole little remote to control it. So the really nice thing with having this is that the fans from the AIO and the 3 separate fans and the RGB on the pump block can all be controlled through this little remote. GPU time, let's go. I'm going to try and install this with one hand and record with the other. I can't really push. There we go. I think it's in. We just need to screw it in and then plug in the cable. I'm not sure how well you can see. Yeah, you can kind of see right there. There's little spots. They're like pieces of plastic from like a plastic peel. And it's kind of stuck behind the mesh. So I'm going to have to take off the mesh and take that out because it kind of throws off the build once you notice it. Okay, I got the mesh off, and these are the things I'm talking about. I don't know what the hell it is, but yeah. Time to go. Now let's hope I can put the metal mesh back on without ruining it. Okay, before we turn on the build, let me show you the cable management. First, look at how many zip ties I used. Now, look at the cable management. I would say that's pretty top tier. Like, oh, looks pretty clean to me. Let's flip the power switch. Okay, moment of truth. Okay. Yes, sir. That turned out so clean. Oh my god. And you got the RGB underneath the GPU. This GPU would look so clean vertically mounted. Here's the PC set to red. And wow, that thing looks beautiful. Alrighty, you know you did a good job on cable management when you can easily just slide the back panel on. Normally you have to lay that thing down and just completely obliterate it and put all your force into it. But this one was pretty, okay, it was pretty easy. The case I went with was the Fractal Design Mesh FIC in black. I went with some red cable extensions to throw in a pop of color. Not sure how I feel about them, but it looks better than the stock PSU cables. Powering the rig is an EVGA unit. It's a 650 BQ. It's an 80 plus bronze and semi-modular, and I picked this up for $29 on EVGA B stock. For storage, I went with a single drive to keep it easy and clean, but you can of course put as much storage as you want. I use a Team Group MP33 512GB M.2 NVMe SSD. 512 gigabytes is plenty room to start off with a few of your apps and a few games. The other fans in the whole PC build are Vetro fans as well. Everything will be linked down below if you guys want to get the same parts. Now, let's test it out. First game up is some good old Fortnite. I'll be testing with regular settings and then performance mode. I loaded into 0 build solos with my resolution at 1080p and full screen with unlimited FPS. I set the resolution scale to 80% and view distance at far, then every other setting at low. In the battle pause, we were above 250 FPS, jumping out, we had a frame drop all the way down to 7, but that's just Fortnite being Fortnite. Weirdly on the floor though, we were getting less FPS. I changed to performance mode, same setting as before, only difference is performance mode. Both the CPU and GPU were staying super cool. Next game up is my favorite game, Apex Legends. I tested in arenas with 1080p and competitive settings, which is just max FOV, everything on low, but I like to keep anti-aliasing on. And temps were perfect. The game wouldn't go higher than 300 FPS, so that brought us to a super nice FPS average. Hey, I stream Apex on Twitch, it's definitely a fun time, come and check me out, it's linked down below. Now that the build is done, the testing is done, and with those two benchmarks, do you think it's worth it? My total build cost was around the $1,000 mark. I paid $610 just for the GPU, and you can expect to pay that or even a little less if prices keep dropping, or even a little more. I guess you can never really know. In conclusion, do you guys think this build is worth it? I would say yes. It is a very solid starting point. You have your 16 gigabytes of RAM at 3200 megahertz, NVMe storage, a great power supply, and a really good case to do your upgrades in. I'll have all the parts linked down below if you want to check them out, as well as some parts that I recommend upgrading to. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, smash a like, subscribe if you loved it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!